Hey everyone, it's Melissa from Sincerely Creative Mom. We're going to use our patent pending pancake wreath frame today. I've added some pipe cleaners already just to make this go a little bit quicker. We're going to add the pipe cleaners directly where the notch and the hole kind of coordination go. So wherever there's a notch, there's a matching hole. I'm going to add my pipe cleaner there, number one. Number two, when I twist my pipe cleaner, I'm going to make sure I'm twisting my pipe cleaner towards the edge of the notch. So on the outside I'm twisting it here, on the inside I'm twisting it here. So super easy. I'm just going to make sure that it twists on the wood but close to the notch. That's going to help us with our separation of our layers here at the end. This did come as a kit, y'all. I already got our sign ready. There is another video here on YouTube that explains. It's a cutting instruction video. It's for kids. But it's helpful to anyone. It does walk through how to add your zip tie mounts that come with your kit to your sign. I use I can't expect everybody that buys our kits to have a staple gun, so I specifically use a staple gun to add the pipe cleaners to the back. But the kits come with these zip tie mounts. They work wonderfully perfect. Again, in that video you can hear the instructions on a little more how to attach them if you're unsure. So don't forget, I also use that DAP Rapid Fuse glue, which I couldn't find when I was creating this, when I was getting ready, so I didn't use it. Anyway, okay, so here we go. We're going to add our mesh to the frame. So your kit comes with the 14-inch frame, the 10-inch frame, and the sign extender. It comes with the pipe cleaners, the sign, the roll of mesh I've already pre-cut, 20 inches long. You need 12 pieces. It comes with the ribbon for your bow. Don't cut these. These are for your bow. It comes with the ribbon for your tails. I've pre-cut those, 14 inches long. Okay? All right, so we're going to start right now with our mesh. I'm going to ruffle right up the center, right up where this white line is. We're going to do our best to stay where the white line is and ruffle, ruffle, ruffle all the way to the edge. Okay, and we're going to put that right down in there on the outside. We're going to start on the outside first. Bring our pipe cleaners right up. Crisscross, twist, twist. So I tie them nice and tight. They kind of cinch together. That's how I know that's how I feel. I know it's nice and tight. And then I just kind of tuck those underneath where the pipe cleaners are on the inside. I'm going to need to use those, and I don't want to have to move them out of the way again. So I just kind of tuck them underneath so I can see them so they're there when I'm ready. Okay, again, right up on top. We're going to do the same thing all the way around. Right on top, pull your pipe cleaners through, crisscross, twist, twist, overlap the outside and overlap the inside. So on the outside, 6 twist ties. The ties are a little bit further away from each other. So this mesh and this mesh are going to kind of barely touch. And then on the inside, they completely overlap one another. And so it'll help hide the frame that we don't want our customers to see. So I'm just going to ruffle right up the center, right down, and I'm going to do this all the way around the outside before we go to the next step. So this is the most common wreath I make. It's the most common wreath I sell over at the boutique. And so of course I make a lot of them. The end result is it still will be 23, 24 inches wide, so still a really good size width, okay? But the depth of it is thinner so that it helps to fit between most folks, not every door and storm door combination, but between a lot of them. So I'm here in Michigan, and when I started hosting classes for the first time, I wanted to make sure that the folks were leaving with something they could probably fit between their doors. The wreaths I was making before I came up with this design were nice and thick and beautiful. And, you know, as I was trying to sell to my local folks, one of the things that were very common was they loved the wreath, but it was too thick to fit between their door. And as much as I tried, you know, old habits, what do they say? Old habits die slow? I don't know. Something. But anyways, habits are hard to break, right? And so when we're used to putting our wreath between our main door and our storm door, and that's a normal thing, to try to get people to hang it on the outside of their storm door feels a little different. So I had to come up with something different to appeal to our Michigan friends and to all of our friends who have storm doors. So here we are with a nice thin design. Okay, we're going to go now with our ribbon. Again, 2.5 inch ribbons. I put my favorite on the top. They're 14 inches long. And I dovetailed the end. I'll show you what that is in just a minute. I'm going to scrunch up the center, crisscross, twist, 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 twist. I twist that about 7 or 8 times just to make sure I have it, you know, nice and tight in there. And then even when I'm not recording or offering a video, I do cut everything and get everything ready to go so that everything's just kind of sitting and ready. It's easier to, you know, boom, 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 boom. I can get everything without having to stop and cut more. And I know sometimes even myself, I give space restrictions, right? Sometimes I have a whole bunch of stuff going under this wreath, and there's my table is full. And so sometimes I don't cut all the mesh. But as a rule, I try to make sure I'm completely prepared before I start. It just makes the assembly a little easier. So we don't ever want to leave our ribbons like this. We always want to make sure that we are pulling them apart, kind of placing them and putting them in place and making sure they are all seen. You can see all of them. We want to make sure we see that black and white polka dot as well as this cute little bee. So that is going to be our next step. Right up the center, making sure everything sticks out towards the edge. So this particular wreath, if any of your ribbons are going in the inside, you're not going to end up seeing them, okay? So we're going to put another layer of mesh on, we're going to put another layer of ribbon, and it's going to get kind of, you know, you won't be able to see anything that goes inside. We want everything to be coming out towards the outside. So I'm just taking my wire cutter now and cutting off the excess of what we don't need. And then we'll go to fluffing our ribbon. So here I like to do an extra step. So I will make sure I am pulling them up and down and side to side so that when I let go, they stay that way, right? I want them to stay. So I want to make sure I'm pulling it up and down and side to side. What I do here on this piece, I like to push this down, just push it down, fold it over, and then push straight down. So it kind of keeps everything nice and tight there, nice and tight. Okay, I actually do that at the beginning. So I'm just going to fold it down, push down, nice and tight, and then up and down, side to side, keeping the same pattern, up and down, side to side, keeping the same pattern all the way around. So I want to go polka dot B, polka dot B, polka dot B all the way. So I'm seeing that same pattern nice and smoothly to the eye, easy to the eye. Okay, and then once I have them kind of where I want them, I'm going to try really hard. Even for me, I have to try extra hard to not touch them until the very end. So we're going to be adding in another layer. We're going to be adding in the sign. We're going to be adding in the bow. We're going to do all these things, and these ribbons are going to move around. They're going to shift. And so if I keep touching them and keep moving them and keep putting them back in place, it's just going to add time to my design. as long as I'm pulling them apart, up and down, pulling them apart side to side, and kind of knowing that they are separated, when I go to put them all in place at the end, I know they'll go where I want them to, and then they'll stay, because I'm not going to be touching or moving any of the materials and doing anything else to them. So that's a big time saving tip, especially like today. I have six to make. I have 6 wreaths to make today. 6 to record, which is even a little bit longer. Okay. Make sure, again, everything's in the pattern, goes around perfectly. All right. So now, let me move this out of the way. And we'll start adding in our next layer of mesh. Going to go right down on top. Right? We're not going to move anything out of the way. Just put it right down on top. So when you have, let's say you have a craft show, you have to restock the boutique where you sell your, whatever the case is. Let's say you only have one day to get stuff into your Etsy shop even. Okay, well, you got to make the most of that. And what can you do to streamline or make your designing go a little bit faster? So every little bit counts, in my opinion. One, having a recipe to follow that you don't look at it as doing the same thing over again. Y'all, this wreath style has sold hundreds of times for me. Hundreds. I would probably, comfortably, I'll just say hundreds. A lot, okay? But it's all different. It's different color mesh. It's different color ribbon. It's different signs. Different colors in the bow, right? So even though it's the same recipe, my customers are not. I have one gal who is continuously buying all the seasons. She's buying Pancake Wreath, the same style, different wreath, right? So don't feel like you're making the same thing over and over again. You are, but you're also not, right? Your customers are not going to get tired of seeing your beautiful creations. And you'll see as you go along, you'll see, what your customer base you're attracting. Are you attracting Pancake Wreath customers? Are you attracting nice big gigantic wreath customers? Are you attracting grapevine customers? Because let me just tell you, those are all different people, right? Those are all different people. I know my hair gal, the gal who does my hair, she is not going to be interested in a wreath like this. It's not her style. But if I do a boho kind of grapevine-y style, she's in, right? So you got to know what kind of people you're looking for based on what you are making. Now, I'm just going to say personally, make what you like and you'll attract those people. You'll attract those people. Make what you like, what you enjoy. Some people are grapevine people, right? They love to use the florals and the stems and the all the pretty cool things. Some people like to use mesh and ribbons. Some people don't like to use mesh and ribbons, but they know their market, and their market, whether it be local, whether it be who they found, however they're attracting people on Etsy, might like the grapevine and the more natural look. So then you got to make a decision, right? What do you want to sell? Do you want to sell and make the sale and give your people what they're asking for, what they're looking for? Or do you want to continue to make what you want? Me, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to figure out what they want. I'm going to make that. Right? I know the people at my local boutique where I sell my things locally. I know they are Pancake people. They are Michigan people. They are storm door people. They are, decorative and all the things. But mostly they're storm door people. Okay, so I know this is what they're looking for. Okay, let's go ahead and add in our next layer of ribbon. Again, another layer right on top, not moving anything out of the way. There's just one thing that I do a little bit differently on this top layer, just one little thing. Still 14 inches. Of course, you could be watching and you could be making your own for your own door, which is fantastic. I've turned this into a business. I don't even want to say by accident. I mean, of course, I'm a creative. So my whole life I've been a creative. And I started making wreaths, of course, to add an income, right? That's why most people do this sort of thing. Start a business, start selling their craft, their talents. And so through the years, we've just kept going. We haven't stopped. We haven't given up. We just keep going. Ooh, this is a good point. Okay, so this ribbon has a splice in it. Okay? This ribbon has a splice in it where the manufacturer, you know, it was a 50-yard roll. They ran out of the 50 yard. They didn't have enough, and then they had to splice them together. They had to add another piece of that ribbon together. The only reason why I'm using this piece is because that splice, those two pieces fused together, is right exactly where I'm going to gather. Okay? So because it's right, that splice is right there. It's right where you can see, it's right where I'm going to gather. It's right where I'm going to be able to grab two pieces. That's the only reason why I'm going to use that. So I know I have a piece of this. I know I have a piece of this. I know even if they do come apart, I have a piece of both of them, right? So I'm just going to put that back on the top, just like that. Fold it, no problem. It's directly where? It's directly under there. And so I'm just going to grab that. And you can see I have a little bit of piece here, and I can see I have a little bit of piece under there, right? And just the same, pull it close out towards me. And that pipe cleaner, not only, there's a piece of wire in there. Not only did I pinch it up together, so that helps it stay together, but it's right where my pipe cleaner is going to go. So I'm not worried that they're going to come apart, right? I'm not worried at all. Okay, going back in again, cutting off my excess. Okay, cutting off my excess. And one last thing I do, I like to push this. Not only do I push it forward, but I kind of push it in. See how that just brings in that whole ribbon a little bit? I'm still going to do the same here. Up and down, side to side. Up and down, side to side. I'm still going to do that, but that just helps, kind of pushing that in helps with those layers here. It helps to define and separate those layers. Okay, because see, if I just don't do anything, it's almost right on top. Right? It's almost right on top. If I push that down and push it in, I'm separating those just a little bit extra. Again, I'm trying not to fix any of the ribbons, just put them in place one time. See, now I have a little bit more extra definition there. This was a kit, so this will serve as the video for our kits. Most, not all, but most of our kits do come with a specific video. Again, most, not all. When we're doing kits for the pancake recipe, it's all the same recipe. And then we do have a video, a cutting instruction video that we refer back everyone to so that you can identify which ribbons are your ribbon tails, which ribbons are for your bow so that you're not, you know, cutting the wrong one by mistake. And then also the cutting instructions, the measurements, etc. are in that video. Just a general, it's actually an Easter video, Easter kit video. Even if you don't buy our kits or if you have never bought our kit or don't intend to, that video is there. It's on our YouTube channel for y'all to see. It does have some tips on how to get your mesh to not fray. You know, just a couple general tips there. All right, we're going to add our sign. Super cute. I am always, when I have a 6x12, I'm always going to look at my wreath and try to cover 4 pipe cleaners. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to go perfectly right there. And then I have a perfect spot for my bow. Okay? So this recipe, I don't have to think about it. It's just, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. The same thing over and over and over again. I don't have to decide where my sign is going to go. I know exactly where it's going to go. I don't have to decide how big my bow is going to be. I know exactly how big I need it to be. It's different color, different all the things, but I don't have to make all of the decisions, right? Okay, I'm only move that ribbon out of the way because I couldn't get through to the base with it in my way. Okay, I'm going to secure this. I'm going to pull those through rather, and then pull the other side through and then secure it. Now for this, you notice usually I'm not securing my sign in if it's a different shape. I'm not securing my sign in until, you know, I have my bow made so I can kind of make room for both of them. I know without a shadow of a doubt, this is where this sign is going to go. I know because I've made hundreds of them. I know the size of the bow, etc., just like what I just said. So if you see me, sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I'll wait till I have the bow made. Well, that's the reason. I'm looking to make sure that I have room, that the bow isn't going to, you know, completely take over the sign. You know, sometimes I always say that it's okay for your sign to go over your, it's okay for your bow to go over your sign a little bit, but not completely, right? And in this case, I know where my bow is going to go. I know it's going to be perfect there. I'm going to turn this over so you can see. I'm going to add in nice and tight so that sign stays nice and snug. Okay, hold on to it, turn it over, make sure. Again, make sure it stays in the center there. Hold it nice and tight, turn it over. Now, you can do this obviously without turning it over completely. It's just easier for me. It's just easier, right? And then I just tuck that extra behind there so it's nice and clean over here. The whole outside looks nice and clean. The only holes you see extra are the ones we didn't use. You can see those underneath there, but we didn't use those. I could have used this hole to help me attach the sign, and obviously that hole to attach that sign is right underneath there, but I had my pipe cleaner long enough, so I just wrapped it around the whole frame. And then my sign is nice and tight. It's not going off there. It's not shifting. It's not moving. Again, ribbons look crazy. It's okay. We're going to fix those in a minute. Let's get our bow made. And then we'll be all done. I'm going to start with, so our bow came with our kit came with 4 ribbons for our bow. I'm going to put the black and white on the bottom. Kind of nice, you know, heavy, dark, the darkest, rather, color on the bottom to kind of give us some separation. If I look at this, it kind of gives me a little blinders a little bit. So I'm going to go the 2.5 inch, I'm going to go about 7.5 inches and a 6-inch loop. Again, I've been making this enough times to know that this is the size for this wreath. Okay, pinch, pull that apart, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop. Okay, pinch and twist. So each layer has 2 loops, 1 loop, and 2 tails. 2 loops on one side, 1 loop on the other with 2 tails. I'm going to slide that down in so that the pinch is right between my pegs. Okay, I have super bad carpal tunnel. Okay, you can call me a cheater, you can call me whatever you want. I have super bad carpal tunnel. I know what my hands can handle. As you can see, I love making those layers in my hands. I love doing that. I love doing that. But my hands, they don't love it when I do that. So I make the layer so that I have control, and then I just add it into the Easy Bow Maker just to hold it while my hands kind of rest, and I make the next layer. Okay, so it's creating and crafting is not, there's no rules, right? The rules are you make up the rules. What works for you? What is good for you? How it fits for you, right? So again, I'm going to make my tail just a little bit shorter than the last one. My loop gets a little bit shorter than the last one. Okay, same thing, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch. Now all these ribbons came with the same length, so you're seeing I'm starting with a little bit extra here, right? Now I do want to make sure that these 2 loops go opposite of the last layer. So I'm going to take these 2 loops and put them on this layer, put them on this side, okay, and spread them out this way. Cut our okay. Now, if you're wondering, now this is obviously pretty easy. Black, white, yellow. Okay, black, white, yellow. If you're wondering how I picked out the patterns, not necessarily how I picked out the colors, because obviously nice and easy with the 3 colors. But I did have a full class available. I taught beautiful class, lots of extra bonuses, some bow tutorial bonuses. There is the listing you can find. It's called the Wreath Wish class. So if you ever wished you could pair ribbons like I do, or make a bow like I do, or pull materials, florals and greenery, and match all of those things like I do, this is the class for you. So it is all available on replay. You can find that information over at learnfrommelissa.com. Okay, again, 2 loops going opposite, right? Putting those right where we need them to go. And I'm just kind of placing this just so you have a visual. Just easier to kind of see how I layer this bow when I'm not, when I'm not fluffing it kind of in the air. You can actually see where things are going. So I'm just trying to make sure that pattern goes between one another, right? This last layer has 1 little tiny loop. It's about 3 inches, and I pinched. It does not go towards the count of my loops. It's just extra, and it helps hide our pipe cleaner. Pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, and twist. I hope that you are following us, and so that you can watch all our videos. We do lots of videos just like this, all sorts of different things. Let me go this way and this way, like that, and then over here and over there. Darling. Again, this was a kit, so it serves as the video for the kit. Learnfrommelissa.com will also get you to our current kits, whatever we have available. Pinch, pull up. So now my hands are, they love me still. They are not horrible. They are not mad at me. I'm just going to add that pipe cleaner around. Nice and tight. And yes, I am squishing it, but it's okay. I have a certain way that my hands will work and a certain way that they won't. So I got to do what they tell me to, right? All right, so I'm just going to lastly fluff this, put them back all in place right where I want them to be. No pun intended. Okay, and then one last thing I put in my bow. This is the longest part of my bow. This first layer, the tail of my first layer, I always want those to come off the edge of the bow. So that's my longest part. I don't want it to go up into the sign. I want it to come off the edge. So we'll make sure that we do that. And it goes right down here in the bottom. I'm going to put that right between those two, kind of right here, so that I have enough space so it doesn't cover it too much. Okay? I don't want it to cover it too, I don't want it to cover that sign too much. So right about now, we're all kind of getting into the slow season. Some of you are preparing for craft shows in the fall. Your customers who are local are getting ready to enjoy the season. So the sweet spot for me is getting them to commit and buy their pretty front door stuff after they take down Christmas. Valentine's Day seems to be a really big hitter for us in our area. The boutique every year not every year, for the last 3 years have been huge on Valentine's Day wreaths, which is awesome. Y'all, again, I hope you're following us. Don't forget to do that before you go. So the last thing we're going to do is fluff our bow. Make sure our bow is in good position, good standing, nice fluffed. You can see all the ribbons. No one's hiding. No one's out of place. Okay, great looking there. Perfection. This is a satin ribbon, so you gotta help it. And then the very last thing we do is we go around on the last, right before we pick it up and put it on the camera, we go around and make sure all of our ribbons are in the right spot. All of the ribbons are pointing out towards the edge. All of the ribbons none of them are hiding from each other. None of them are hiding underneath one another. They're all where they need to be. Nothing is curled under. I want to be able to pick this up and take it right to the door and take a picture right then and have it just be perfect. So just making those all perfect. See, this one's kind of flipped over on top. This wants to hide. We don't want to let it hide. No one hides here. Okay, and this I'm going to snuggle underneath there. Doesn't go there. It goes right underneath there. There we go. I appreciate you watching. I can't wait to see you again soon. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for buying our kits. And I'll put it on its side so you can see. Open it up a little bit further here. You can see the full view. So cute. Nice and thin for a pancake style, fitting between most doors. But also nice and wide. We're sitting about 23, 24 inches wide. I love this so much. Y'all, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.